access granted. I am delighted to have the very handsome Wes on the couch of this beautiful Sunseeker. So Wes, thanks for joining us. I was going to introduce you, but actually, you know, I know you've got some new divisions in the business going. So what business do you run? Or businesses?
So living home tech. We've been going for about 20 years. So we run that, and we do home cinemas, home technology, lighting control, that type of thing. And we've just launched a new wing to that, which is our golf simulators, as you alluded to. It's a new thing for us. We've done a few in the past, but we're now going to do this as a completely separate business.
And is the golf simulators, is that a business choice or is that just a personal choice? Because
a little bit of a personal choice because, as you may know, I took up golf again in April last year and played quite a bit of it since then. But actually, it just lends itself to what we do already. We're already speaking to the same people that want these things in their homes, and we're just going to put the living touch to it. So rather than seeing the kind of standard kind of golf sim, it's a bit more high-end, you know, nice finishes, fabric walls, that type of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So high-end home cinemas, golf simulators.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do.
Absolutely. Entertainment rooms. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Love it. So that's where you are now. I mean, where did your business journey start?
Oh, fuck. So I started my first business when I was 24. I won't give you a year because that gives away my age. And that was electronic security. So we did CCTV, fire alarms, that type of thing.
How did you come up with that idea?
So that's where I started my journey in life as an electrician.
Okay.
That's what I was, you know. So I was going around putting these things in. And then I decided the time was right for me to go out on my own. So I started that business. We built it up to quite a good size, and then we actually joined forces with another company that was local, which was Paul Clark, as you know, Paul, business partner. We built that up over the next few years, gradually moved into the home tech arena, found out that was a much better place for us to be, and we sold that business.
How was that? I mean, building a business.
Scary. It was actually quite scary because it was our safety net. We'd built it up over those years with regular recurring revenue. We did lots of services locally. We worked for lots of the large apartment blocks, that type of thing, and they would pay us on a monthly fee. So actually losing that, whilst it was nice to sell it, it was quite scary at the time. Yeah, it was a big jump.
And did somebody come to you and approach you?
Yeah, so someone approached us and the timing was just right. So we sold it to another local firm, and it's still going now to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then so straight out of there into living home tech. I'm right in thinking you had an events business.
Running events.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So back in 2010, I did an ultra marathon.
What is an ultra marathon?
So it's 250 kilometres in this particular instance.
Okay.
Over 5 days, and this was through the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, and you carry all your own kit. So you've got there's varying distances on each day. You camp overnight, so you carry your own hammock, tie it up at night, sleep, get up the next day, do another stage, that type of thing. So I did this event in Brazil. It was good fun. It was awesome.
You did it as a participant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ran that. I actually came second Brit in the end.
Oh,
which
congrats.
was pretty good. Funny story with that one. So when I was doing it, I just read a book called Barefoot Runner. Ever heard of it? No. Okay, so it's all about running naturally. That type of thing. He goes into a little bit about nutrition. So they start talking about these chia seeds and this purple corn. So I read this book and I was like, I am a natural runner. So I went out and bought chia seeds and purple corn and tried to do an ultramarathon on them.
Right.
By day 3, I was nearly starving to death because I'm used to eating roast potatoes and steaks, you know, not purple corn and chia seeds. So I had to rely on some of the other competitors to give me some real food to get me through it. But I did, and I ended up finishing second, like I say, yeah. Second Brit, not overall.
How many Brits in total?
I think there were about 25 of us in there. It was 100 people in the race.
Fair play.
But the locals that actually ran barefoot were immense. There was no way you were beating them.
Do you remember? Amazing. So I guess the position was done on time.
Yes, so it's a cumulative, so each stage.
Okay.
So by the end of stage 3, I was like quite far down. I thought I'm going to be dropping out of this in a minute because I'm, you know, running on empty.
Yeah.
But then you've got the long stage to come after that, which is 100k, and I actually come into my own on that 100k stage and just whipped my ass. It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Where was Wes born? You're a local lad? I mean, say local because I know we're in Poole today.
Yeah, born in Bournemouth. Yeah, 1977.
Okay, I didn't have to give it out, but you volunteered it.
Yeah, so yeah, I was born locally. I've always lived around this way. You know, I live North Dorset now, so yeah.
And you've got you work with your brothers?
I do, yeah. 2 brothers. Sad story, but we lost our father quite early. He was 46 at the time. Actually, yesterday was 18 years of, his passing. And at that point, my I got two brothers, Luke and Wayne, that work with me. Wayne was just going through college, learned to be an electrician as well, and Luke was just finishing school. So it was quite a poignant time in their life that obviously my dad went, and I decided that I would kind of help them, bring them through that type of thing. So I employed Wayne.
So you're the oldest brother?
I'm the eldest, yeah. I employed Wayne. As soon as Luke left school, employed Luke as well, showed them ropes, and now they basically run living on their own, pretty much. You know, they do all of the sales and the kind of operations, that sort of thing, yeah.
Do you like working with your
Love it.
brothers?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's the best thing ever. I know there's times when you want to say things and it can become a bit kind of, you know, bit touchy at times, but for 99.9% of the time, it's amazing. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned you got a business partner as well.
Yeah, Paul Clark.
How did you meet him?
So literally, it was the two businesses working together. So we kind of crossed paths through another associate, and then we put the two businesses together. And then since then, which I think was about 2004-ish, 2004, we put the two businesses together, and then we've been working together ever since.
Nice. Yeah. How do you think your brothers would describe you?
Pain. Not, I don't know, fidgety, always looking for the next thing. Yeah, I think that would be their take on me. A bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I know off camera before we start recording this, you mentioned about you're always looking to
always
drive
looking
things
for something
forwards.
different. Yeah,
You've got obviously a couple of people around you that look to rein you in.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we touched on this briefly. We all have different personalities, different ways of learning, strengths and weaknesses. One of my strengths is being able to do lots of different things at once. That makes it very difficult for people to sometimes work with me because I'm doing lots of different things all the time. I'm aware of that, so I have to kind of rein myself in, obviously. But yeah, so I guess from a business standpoint, it means that I will find new avenues, new adventures, that type of thing. Like I said, I've done lots of different things. You know, you mentioned the events company.
Yeah.
So I did the event in Brazil, come back home and thought I can do something better than this. And then I built a race series around the world.
Talk to me about that.
So we built a race in Peru for the Amazon rainforest, Jokkmokk in Sweden, which is northern Sweden above the Arctic Circle, Namibia, and Colorado over the Rocky Mountains.
So you're putting together that series and those events.
Yeah.
How are you picking like which events and which locations?
So the idea was it come from the race that I did in Brazil. In that when we were running around, the lady that was running the race, she said that you got to be careful of the locals, beware of them, that kind of thing. It was kind of like a warning as opposed to like you're over here, immerse yourself in the kind of the culture, that type of thing. So I thought they're missing a trick. So that was that's where I came from with it. I was like, right, she's missing a trick here. We've flown all the way around the world. We're not getting to meet the locals. We're not getting to see how they live. We're warned off from them. This is odd, you know? Yeah. So then I thought, right, okay, so where would I put, because I had the opportunity to put this race anywhere. And I wanted to cover kind of different areas. So it was like desert, jungle, mountains, and ice, which is the Arctic.
Yeah, nice.
So when we went to Peru, we stayed with the locals, the natives, actually in the Amazon. They cooked for the runners. They kind of they played football with them, that kind of stuff. It was awesome. So people come back from it, they had a real experience, as well as doing the race. Yeah.
What were you charging people for the entries?
So it ranged about $2,500 at the time per person, up to 3-4 maybe for the ice one. That was the most expensive one.
Right. Okay.
Logistically, and it being in Scandinavia, as you know, is quite expensive up there.
Yeah. And what? How many entries or participants would you generally get?
So we would get between 100.
Okay.
Would be the biggest race, which is the Peru one. And for the ice one, it would be probably about 40 runners for that one. Yeah.
And I guess like similar community across the different.
Yeah, so we stayed with the Sami people. I don't know if you ever looked into them. So there's a native Indian. You've seen the reindeer up there, right? Yeah. So that's their kind of culture. They farm and that's their wealth. It's held in their reindeer. So we stayed with them. They helped us doing the race, that kind of stuff. So you're always investing back in the community as well. It's good. And same in Namibia. Obviously, it's amazing. You just walk into a supermarket there and there'd be someone stood there naked. It was a totally different world. It's amazing. Yeah. So good. Yeah.
Nice, learn a lot, different perspectives.
You do, absolutely. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's good.
Going on to the current businesses though. Yeah. Home cinemas. What I mean, for somebody that's naive in that space, like where do they range from a pricing perspective?
Yeah, so realistically, you're looking at 25k entry point.
Okay.
And then
What does that get me? What does 25k get me?
You're still going to get a really decent room, but you might not have all the fabric walls, that type of thing. You might not have the electronic seats, so you might not have everything, but you're still going to have the electronic experience, if that makes sense. You're still going to have 4K screen, all those sorts of things.
Right, okay, so do people typically come to you and say, look, I've got this space? Like,
yes.
Okay, so this is the room that I
Either
like to turn
pre-built,
into a home skin.
or they're building themselves, they might be doing a new build, that type of thing.
Okay.
It varies. If they come to us with a room that's already there, what we have is what we've kind of trademarked, I guess, is a room within a room. So it doesn't matter what room you give us, we're going to completely finish it again within inside that framework that you give us. Yeah, so we look at those dimensions, work off of that, and then give you a finished article.
Okay, cool. So 25k entry.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive one you've ever done?
250.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
£250,000.
Yeah, the thing is, it's down to the projector really. Once you get in size, so if it's a big room, you need more speakers.
Was it in the UK? This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a big room is going to cost more. That's the way it works. It's as simple as that. It comes down to more speakers, more electronics, and if you spend a load of money on your projector, which you can, you can get silly on those quite quickly. Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
And the golf sims?
Yeah. What prices?
Yeah, price wise. Yeah. Someone out there is looking to have their own personal golf sim.
Yeah. So I mean, you can do it fairly inexpensively if you just want a hitting area. We call them swing rooms at that point. So you've got the electronics, the mat, that type of thing, your hitting screen, projector, that kind of thing. If you just want a basic swing room, you can probably do it for 15, 16 grand. If you want to go all out and do one of our entertainment areas, when you've got like a bespoke cabinetry, bar area, that type of thing, then you're talking 60, 70 grand. Yeah.
Okay, fair. Do you enjoy being a businessman?
Yeah, I do. I couldn't see myself doing anything else now. Just can't do it, no, definitely not.
And what would you, over your career today, what would you think are the major lessons that you've learned? Or like, you think actually I learned that was a really like painful mistake.
Time. Use time to your advantage, because a lot of people get impatient for success and impatient for the big jobs or impatient for the sales, that type of thing. But as long as you keep working and doing the same thing and doing the right things each day, those successes will come. It's about taking time and using it to your advantage, like I say, not going out there and going, that's it, I've got to sell a 200 grand cinema room tomorrow. That's not how it works. And it sounds weird, but the universe won't be ready for you to do those sorts of things. Everyone's got to be aligned for those things to work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 points I'd like to touch on from that.
Go on.
First one, like universe, is that kind of like, that's something that you think about, like karma or like energy?
Yeah, I think everything has a natural ebb and flow. I think, I'm not quite sure what it is that controls it, but certainly I can remember when I first started the business, picking up the phone and trying to speak to people like 7 Developments and force them to use our AV company, please use us, we need you type thing. And it didn't work. No one would ever buy off you what they weren't interested in doing those things. And then gradually I can remember where I was sat at the time when our first big job come through the door, and it was in London, it was in Mayfair. They happened to see one of our jobs, thought it was great, and it snowballed from there. And I can just remember that place it happened. I was like, wow, that's this is like 5 years in, and this is really starting to kick off now, But 5 years before, I was sat in that office in North Road, picking up the phone, trying to force it to happen. It just wouldn't going to happen,
Yeah. Okay, so you've learned from your experience just to let go and just let it if you're doing the right, you're happy if you're doing the right things consistently.
Yes.
That things will naturally
do
evolve
the work. Do the groundwork. That's it. Concentrate on quality. Concentrate on those things, and the rest of it takes care of itself. Yeah.
Okay, fair. Any particular habit? I mean, I know you read a lot. We'll come on to that, but like any particular habits that are you a kind of a militant man from like I have to wake up this way and do these things every day, or are you long as I work? What's your approach, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to learn what makes you tick. So what is it that makes you tick?
Okay, you're doing my job for me now. I like it.
What's that?
I'm going to say, Wes, what makes you tick?
Okay, yeah. So for me, keeping fit, learning, being there for my family, having time to do that, and golf.
Okay, fair play. So keeping fit. What do you do to keep fit?
Run, gym. That's my 2 things really, and obviously, I mean, when you play Remedy, you know, it's a 10-mile walk basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if you're a bit offline.
And is that like are you working out often? You know, is it the same days every week, or you like
No.
twice a week?
No, so I'll work out 3-4 times a week, but I'll vary it depending on how I'm feeling, if I've been out the night before, that type of thing. You know?
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
And learning, you mentioned.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we discussed this a bit before. So over the last, I think, 3 years-ish, it's about 200 books I've done.
Wow.
In varying different fields as well. So there's some business, psychology is a massive point for mine. I love reading about psychology. So lots of different subjects. Golf.
Okay, you reading books on golf?
Yeah, psychology around golf. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come on to that then. So what sort of stuff have you picked up on some of the golf books from a psychology perspective?
So again, it's almost the same thing as we discussed a second ago with business. If you try and force it, you're not going to play the best golf because you're too mechanical. You're not in your flow at that point. That's actually a psychological term, flow. A friend of mine in Germany has written a book about it, and you know when you're in flow, when things are just happening and you're not forcing it, and things are happening around you. And it's the same with golf.
In the zone or in the pocket.
Yeah,
and I'm
same thing.
Yeah, playing pool or
That's it.
Playing golf.
Look, you play golf to a quite high level, right? But when you've played your best golf, you're not forcing it. You're just having fun.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the same with everything. It's the same thing. You've got two different modes in your head. You've got your kind of conscious self and non-conscious. And your non-conscious runs so much of what you do on a day-to-day basis. And if you can engage that, which is difficult to do, obviously, but if you can engage that, that's where you get your best results.
Nice. Any particular book recommendations on that?
Black Box Thinking is one of my favourites for business.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a superb book about how to implement failure and how to, because we all have failures. Yeah, but it's how you learn, how you implement your lessons from those.
Okay.
Really, really important book. It's a good book. Yeah.
Nice.
Recommend that one.
Worst book you've ever read out though? 200.
There was one I had. It was on fitness. I think it was called The Fittest Book in the World. And whilst the book itself, so I bought the paperback version as well as the audiobook, but as an audiobook, it was horrendous. I remember I got like 30 seconds in, I was like, no, turned it off, done. But reading the book is great. Yeah.
You're like a particularly big goal setter. Or like, do you set goals and targets?
Yeah, I do. They tend to be visual goals because the way I think.
Okay.
And I will set goals. At the moment, I'm getting into property. And I'm trying to set, so I've got a number at the moment I'm trying to hit with properties I want to let out, that type of thing. So that's my next goal. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Where will I go next? What do you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about?
What I want to talk about?
Caught me off guard. Like, what does Wes want to talk about?
How's fatherhood?
It's a good question. Thanks, Wes. Saving me.
Yeah.
It's
family, man.
Yeah, no. It's,
yeah.
Do you know
why
what?
You do all of this stuff.
It's surreal. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely surreal. I mean, Mia's 5 weeks old, and you know, saying the words "I'm a dad."
Yeah.
And like, it's just still like
even that.
Yeah, still like, oh, I'm a dad, and I've got a daughter. Very odd.
Yeah.
Like, to be coming out of my mouth. And I think, you know, it's going home to like a little baby, and,
it's awesome,
and also,
right?
like, yeah, it's really nice. Like the cuddles are great.
And it gets better and better and better. It really does.
Yeah. I also think I've definitely got to adapt, to be fair. Like, from the point of view that I've probably been find more time and quality time with both of them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%.
Like, I feel like actually early on in these first couple of weeks, I'm probably I could do better to support Melita, because she's certainly definitely finding it. I think she underestimated how hard it was going to be.
Yeah, again, this goes back to that time thing, really, isn't it? You're learning as well. No one's born with the ability to be a dad or a husband and all that kind of thing at the same time. So you've got to learn as you go through it.
Got any words of wisdom for me?
Yeah, stop playing golf. I had to.
Okay.
I mean, again, I tried playing golf when I was like 30.
Yeah.
When my daughter was born. I joined Knighton Heath Golf Club. Right, I played one time in the whole year. I played the whole year and just didn't play because it's the worst place to be in the world. Whilst you're supposed to be somewhere else, you know. And it takes 4 or 5 hours out of your day.
Yeah.
So I guess it's about being clever with your time, you know. So you can be the best dad in the world in half an hour if you're completely attentive.
Yeah, if you're present.
If you're present and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you're doing too many things at once, which obviously is one of my kind of weaknesses and strengths, depends on how you look at it, where it's been implemented. To be a good father, I think that is it. Be there, be present. Yeah, especially when when you're there, that's it. Turn the phone off, put it to one side. That will take care of itself, and just be there.
To be on present. So first question: how many children do you have?
2.
Okay,
Yeah, Emily, Thomas. Emily's 14, Thomas is 10. 17.
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
And being present, I mean, this leads me on to, I guess, like meditation, things like that. Do you practice those types of things?
Not regularly. I do some Wim Hof breathing.
Wim Hof?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I do breathing in the morning, and
Yeah.
I use that as my time. You know, it normally is about half an hour in total. Yeah.
Do you do like ice baths and like?
Yeah,
cold
yeah. So I've
showers
got
and
a
stuff?
barrel in my back garden.
Have you?
Yeah, like an old whiskey barrel. That's quite cool because you sit in it and you smell whiskey. That's me. But yeah, I've got that in the back garden. So I'll get in that and submerge myself in that for X amount of minutes. Yeah, it's good.
And how often will you do that?
So when I was doing it religiously, it was every day. I had
Really?
the whole family doing it. Yeah, so we were all going out there. Yeah,
The benefits are maybe so good for you,
it's
aren't they?
amazing.
And Wim Hof, I think they did a. I mean, he's a character, isn't he?
He is.
and he gets a lot of. He's got a really big following. I think breathing actually is those breathing exercises are I guess getting some real mass market adoption at the moment.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of people like
Absolutely.
take them. I was actually I don't know if he was doing this, but I was in a sauna recently at Shoot and Glen,
Yep.
and Chris Evans was in there.
Oh, okay.
And he was really, I could tell that he was really focusing on his breathing techniques and
Yep.
stuff like that. And I think I spoke to somebody that listens to the radio show that he presents, and he's been talking a lot about these breathing techniques. and
Breathing
Wim Hof
techniques,
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really good for you.
Yeah, it's really good for you. It's so we've obviously we've got the other business, Uki,
Yeah.
myself and Paul have, and obviously we've got a large staff there, and there's some of them. I won't say who, obviously, but obviously some people suffer with anxiety, and actually Wim Hof is just amazing for that. It really is good.
Yeah.
It really is good. Yeah.
Well, he's one of those guys. I think he did they did an experiment where they gave people a virus as an example.
Yeah, that's right.
They gave
gave it to him.
Yeah, they gave him the virus, and he basically, because of his immune system was, I mean, I'm smart,
He suffered no ill effects at all.
That's all.
Nothing.
Yeah, his immune
Zero.
system was so strong
Yeah.
that effectively he outperformed people that were getting medication. And
He
you know,
climbs
things.
mountains in Poland with just a pair of shorts.
Yeah, yeah.
He
No.
can heat his whole body up. Amazing.
Any other like authors or entrepreneurs, people in that holistic world that you kind of like, really
Trying to
resonate
think
with you?
now. It's always very difficult for me to think of. I will think of some in a minute. Yeah, but there's lots that I've read. Trying to think of someone. No, it'll come to me. But yeah, I've read lots of books about various different kind of techniques, that type of thing. There's there's one. It's about a monk. Can't remember who it is now. But that's another one, superb, and it teaches you about meditation and how that can possibly help you and tending to your garden is how he puts it.
Okay, is that Robin Sharma?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The monk who sold his
That's
Ferrari.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't read that one yet, but he's also got a new one called is it the 5 a.m. Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not read that one yet.
Yeah, he's quite I guess him, the sort of like Tony Robbins. You kind of like
Yeah,
those
Tony
sorts of,
Robbins.
like,
That's
thought leaders.
probably the first. It was a CD.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. But that's probably my first kind of foray into kind of self-improvement.
Yeah.
Would have been Tony Robbins, which I think is most people's, isn't it?
He's right.
Fairly successful.
Have you seen I'm Not Your Guru on Netflix?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I've probably seen that 5-6
Yeah,
times,
he's
I'd
good.
say. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting how well he reads people.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
And also, I think, like, watching it, he's making a real difference and an impact on people's lives.
He does. Yeah, he really does. Yeah, just the way he reads someone, like you say, and then he'll come up with a way to implement the change that person said maybe they can't change or they can't do something, they can't quit smoking, that type of thing. He'll do it in like 10 minutes and it's done. As opposed to sit on my couch and talk to me every week about it and that kind of thing. He has a completely different approach. Very successful.
Cool.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, nice. What was I going to say? Favourite film?
Big Lebowski.
What's that about? Actually, I don't think I've seen it.
It's a Coen Brothers
Right,
film.
okay.
It's just a cool film. It's a character drama type film. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's good. It's good fun. Yeah.
You optimistic about the future?
Yeah, always. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Yeah.
Vision for the business?
Well, obviously we're launching this thing with the golf sims at the moment. Hopefully within the next sort of 6 weeks it'll be up and running. Vision, hopefully get to a point where I can kind of hand the reins to Luke and Wayne permanently and step away from it completely. That's the idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the property side of it was always that, the new property side that you're looking at on a personal level.
Yeah, I've always
So
been
always-
interested in properties, and I've got a couple that I let out at the moment. But I'm going to do a mixture now of standard lets, but also Airbnb, that type of thing, whilst that's hot. We'll do that, and it's basically my retirement plan. You need something, don't you? Yeah.
I know that we've often sat around and spoke about like business ideas and where the world's going and stuff like that. What's kind of, I guess, front of your mind at the moment in terms of like big opportunities for business owners?
I think energy is going to be a big thing going forward. How we use it, where we get it from. Obviously, us being involved with technology, we've been doing this for quite a while anyway, with how you control energy around the home, that type of thing. I've discussed the battery walls we've done with solar panels, that kind of stuff. So I think that's probably at the forefront of everyone's mind at the moment, especially with costs going up as they are. But how we can implement that into the home, not just in the high-end homes. We're talking about it should be in everyone's home. They should all be able to do this. We should all benefit from solar, that type of thing, yeah.
Energy being the big one.
Energy, yeah, I think, because, regardless of where you sit on the fence with climate change and all those sorts of things, look, we've got a finite amount of energy in the world, and we should be using it wisely, and we're not at the moment. We're just using whatever's there and whatever's cheapest. We need a kind of bottom-up approach, I guess, about, look, we've got a society now with, what are we, 7 billion in the world?
Yeah, so that's 7.8.
7 billion, yeah. Nearly 8 billion. It's a lot, right? A lot of them are in developing worlds, we know that, but a lot are in the developed world. So there's a lot of people using energy every day. So let's look at this afresh and say, right, how can we build a society for the future? That's what I think is going to be, important.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, little quick fire round. Three business lessons you would like to pass on to aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners.
Okay.
Or your top tips. Let's go with that. Let me just clarify. So your 3 top tips for business owners.
Yeah, so once a bad customer, always a bad customer. That's a good one. So once you've got to the point where someone's not paying you, they promise you more work, that kind of thing, cut it off there and then. It's never going to be good. So get rid of that one. Have fun. It's important that you do that. If you don't, then you're going to lose your passion for it. And again, going back to what I said a second ago, keep doing the right things, good habits, Atomic Habits. Read that book?
Yes, I have. Yes.
That's a good
one.
And
I've read Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit.
Yep.
Like the trigger, the response,
so
the
that
reward.
all forms the same, it's the core of everything in business. It's doing the right things on a daily basis. Keep doing it.
Just program yourself for success, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do the right things. Find out what the right things are and do them repeatedly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you'll be successful. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Third one? What did it? You had 3. You had fun.
Yeah, so
habits.
Yeah, fun, habits, and
bad customers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Number 1 life lesson.
Oof. This goes against the business one, really. Don't spend too much time doing the work side of things because enjoy life, enjoy it. Stop and smell the roses a little bit. We're all fairly wealthy in this country. Okay, we're lucky. I know we're all chasing dreams and we've got goals and that kind of stuff, but you can get so hung up on doing that you forget to actually enjoy yourself. So stop. Take your time. Take some time for yourself. Do your meditation. Do your physicals. Do your kind of golf, that sort of thing.
Yeah, nice. Biggest business mistake.
Oof. It was at one point we expanded beyond our kind of reach, really. It was, I can't remember what year it was now, but we had so many engineers working for us and it was just an absolute nightmare. So plan your expansion carefully.
Okay.
Careful what you wish for.
Growing too fast. Thing you're most proud of?
Family. Yeah, my wife. She's just, I told you she had cancer last year and she's gone through treatment and she's back at work now. She's like back at work ahead of time. So by far and away, I'm the proudest of her. She's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that.
It's good.
How did you 2 meet?
Sorry?
How did you 2 meet?
It's going to sound slushy. Okay, you asked.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we went to school together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then we lost touch and we met again at the venue. Do you remember the venue? The nightclub in Poole?
Yeah.
So we met again. We were like 16, 17, I think it was. And we kind of, loosely dated and we've been together ever since.
Love it. Yeah. Any particular bucket list? So, got anything on the bucket list? Anything that you haven't done yet?
Several things.
Okay.
So, I want to split my time in the UK and Portugal. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah,
there's no question.
I think we were talking about it. Also, I saw like an infographic on the tax benefits of living in Portugal.
Portugal's amazing. Yeah, they're encouraging us to go over there, especially if you're going to invest and do things over there, which I will do.
Yeah.
We're looking at living over there at some point.
Why Portugal?
Partly because of that, but the climate is amazing. It's like Spain, but kind of smaller, you know.
Yeah.
Amazing standard of living. Awesome. Right. And golf.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
amazing
golf. Yeah,
weather, golf.
That's it. It's perfect.
Tax benefits.
We're going to be wintering kind of in Portugal, I think, and then back over here. That's the idea.
Nice. Well, you got like a time horizon on that?
Next 5 years.
Okay.
So my daughter's 14 at the moment. She's just about going to she's in GCSEs now, then through A levels, then uni. So once she's at uni, we're going to leave. See ya.
Yeah. That's it. We brought you up in this world.
Right, yeah,
you're a fully fledged adult.
That's it, yeah.
Off you go.
Exactly it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
Travel in general. I love travelling. Like I said, I've done Peru. I've done some really... I put a race on in Fiji, if you forgot that one. So I've been to Fiji. I've been all over the world doing these races, and I want to get back into that again, back into my travel. You know, it feels like we've had our life put on hold for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah,
with
I know.
COVID and other various things, you know.
It's been shit, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I want to get back into that.
Well, have you learned anything from COVID?
Probably goes back to my advice about business, really, is that we were forced to not work at that point, really, within reason. We did keep going through the COVID times. But it forced us to have more time at home with the family, that sort of thing, and it was actually quite enjoyable. So I think it showed me that you can have a balance, a better balance, of work life, Are
your children similar?
In what way?
Personality-wise? Yeah.
No, totally different. So my daughter's me. She's like outgoing, bish bosh, out. You know, she wants to be outside all the time. My son is so chilled. He's like horizontal. Yeah, total bookworm. He's going to be an engineer.
Right, okay.
You know, totally different. Yeah.
Nice. We need a few of them.
Yeah, we do.
You into like cars, or what's your passions? You know, we spoke a lot about golf, but you know, sporting wise.
Yeah, sports. Yeah, I like long distance running.
Yeah.
I watch rugby, football. I've played it all my life, so I love my sports in general. I just love sport. Golf, obviously. I wouldn't mind getting into super yachts.
Yeah.
If you're offering.
Well,
this could be a passion.
Yes.
This could be one. This could be one. Yeah, this would work. Yeah.
No, we could. Well, I mean, we can try and sort that out, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a little whip round.
Yeah. What would be short? 5 mil? Can't be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that, you know, for me, eating out.
Yeah.
Good restaurants, that type of thing. Love that. Yeah, that's good fun.
Got any particular recommendations?
Do you know what, we were discussing this the other day? I don't know if you were there. We were saying there seems to be a dearth of opportunities to go out eating in Bournemouth at the moment. You know.
Yeah, no, I was having that conversation with you.
Yeah. So no, not at the moment. I mean, out our way, there's some nice places out North Dorset, but you know, no, I'm just trying to think of the last really. I mean, but that Neo was good though.
Yeah, Neo's
the food
nice.
there was good fun.
Yeah,
it's good fun. Yeah, nice place.
As I said, I've got a nice restaurant lined up for you in July. So we'll get that day.
Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah. You interested in the new wave of financial tech?
Cryptos, yeah, absolutely. I think crypto at the moment's up, which is a good thing. I think it could be, if used correctly, it could be a hedge against the inflation we're seeing at the moment. It could be like the gold standard back in the day, you know. It seems to be working that way at the moment.
Yeah. So you're I guess, how new are you to that space?
4 years.
Okay.
4 years, I think, with cryptocurrencies.
Oh, fair play. So you've been really participating for
You say that, but I can remember this chap, we employed him, I don't know how long ago it was, a long time ago, and he was talking to me about Bitcoin. I was like, what on earth are you talking about? It sounded like nonsense. But he was talking about buying it, and I think it was like $2 a coin or something, whatever it was when it first released, you know. I'm going to invest in some Bitcoin. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah. So it took me a long time, actually, to kind of get to grips with it. And I guess that's my age. I don't know. You know, he's younger than I am. And how early an adopter you are of those things. You know? But I think the mechanisms were there to start with. Whereas if you want to buy Bitcoin now, there's so many apps you can do it through, right? It's easy.
100%, yeah.
But back then, it was kind of like, well, you had to have like a separate hard drive to store the coins on, or the codes for the coins.
Yeah.
All sorts of different things. So it was a lot more involved.
Yeah.
So I just looked at it at that point as if some kind of like, this is a fad, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna pass. But now it's huge now.
Yeah, I think you look at it, the last decade, it's been the best performing asset of the last decade.
Yeah.
Like by far.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, there's been a huge amount of wealth generation for a lot of those people that are very
Wealth
early.
generation, yeah, it democratizes wealth, I think, as well. So more people have access to making money, which is great. So that kind of levels the playing field a little bit. How long it's going to last without the legislation? Because at the moment, it's a bit like the Wild West, right? Everyone's bringing out a new crypto coin. You've got so many on there now at the moment. You can invest in so many. Was it
4,000
Shiba?
plus something like that. Yeah, well, yeah, some of these.
Shiba Inu or whatever is like
Yeah.
0.000001. It's got hardly any worth whatsoever. But everyone's bringing new ones out all the time with a new use for these coins or whatever. So at some point, legislation is going to come in because the banks aren't going to wear this for too long. Governments aren't going to wear it for too long. Are they going to bring their own cryptocurrencies out?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
UK
I mean,
crypto.
yeah, Rishi Sunak has been speaking quite, I guess forcefully or intimating that obviously the CDCs, I think they call them, so CBCDs, central bank digital currencies.
Yep.
So like the Bank of England, the Fed, a lot of these, these banking systems will effectively, be bringing out their own currencies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm imagining a world where like the Bank of England say, "Where's Josh? Download our app, and we're going to give you the digital pound," and and then they can obviously manage their own monetary policy.
Yeah.
Per individual. So at the moment you'd like raise the interest rate, for everybody.
That's it.
But effectively, we're all going to have our own monetary policy because they'll be monitoring where and how we spend our money or save it. You're saving too much money, like get out and spend some.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the digitisation of our financial system is
it's going to be interesting.
It's very early in that
Yeah.
curve, I'd say. I think I saw something last week where the adoption curve of the internet 1990 to 2000 was about 67%, as an example. Now the adoption curve of cryptocurrency, which is laid on top of blockchain, is more like 120%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's almost like this thing's growing so fast that I think the report I saw was that we'll have 1 billion users by 2024.
Yeah.
And then you look at, we've just lived through COVID and the amount of government printing. As an example, 40% of the US dollars in circulation today, 40% of them were printed in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you look at inflation.
That's why inflation's kicking off. Like, it was always going to happen.
Yeah.
I know the Ukraine thing's not obviously doing us any favours with that, but yeah, it was always going to happen. The amount of printing that happened, and the amount of money that was being given away. Crazy. Yeah,
I just feel like there's a big competition in the world right now. Like you look at information as an example. You take like Joe Rogan, podcast, 70 million downloads per episode. A few of the ones that were seen as controversial on COVID.
Yep.
And then you've got traditional, you could call them, or legacy even now, media channels like the BBC and Sky, where this guy over here has got like 4 or 5 times the audience size of all of those combined.
Yeah.
You've got a competition on information.
With no restrictions whatsoever, because
Zero.
he can talk about what he wants to talk about. There's no restrictions on that yet. But other than the odd kind of 10-second advert that he normally says himself, actually.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just a 3-hour conversation. Yeah. That's it.
When you say that, not yet, do you think it will be regulated then?
I don't think it'll be regulated, but I wonder how long Spotify, which obviously is a traded company.
Yeah.
So if you think he's on that platform, he'll find another platform. Joe Rogan would find another platform, no question.
Yep.
But if he stays with Spotify, I wonder how long they can withstand the pressure that's going to be put on them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what Rogan's done now is he's starting to balance it. So he'll bring someone on with one view, and then the next episode he'll bring someone on. I don't know if you noticed that recently.
Yeah.
So
I always think he's been. I feel like he's always
absolutely
been, I feel like he's always.
He's gone a step further than that now.
Yeah.
He's really gone to town with this kind of balance idea, which is, it's great for him to do that.
Yeah.
It's another guest anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear opposing views. It's good, so you can then form your own off of a balanced kind of conversation. It'd be great to have them both in the same room.
I couldn't agree more. Right, I couldn't agree more. I remember watching Game Changers on Netflix. You ever seen that? So it's like
yes, I have,
it's about eating vegan. It's this documentary. A British guy does it.
Yep.
And it's like it's about the benefits of eating a vegan diet, right?
Yep.
So I watched this documentary, and it inspires me to go vegan for a period of time. So I think I was like, I'm going to do a month. And to be honest with you, I did it, and I felt really good.
Yep.
And with all things in life, building habits, right? Going back to what you're saying. So definitely influenced me. Anyway, I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast, and I've listened to it over the years, and he has a guy on called Chris Kresser, who is, on the face of it, in the intro, a nutritionist that's gone to XYZ university. Comes on and basically sits there for 3 hours saying how this documentary's not really founded on good science, and it's not really that great. So I listened to that podcast because it's on Joe Rogan. I'm like, okay, now I really don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy from Game Changers gets a load of stick on Instagram from like people being like, I've just watched this, now I've listened to Chris Kresser, and what you're saying is rubbish. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, to Joe Rogan's credit, he then brings the Chris Kresser, this nutritionist, and the narrator of Game Changers, the British guy, onto the same podcast and has a 3-hour conversation.
Awesome.
And, listen, and so what happens, that plays out and transpires that the narrator, the British guy, literally shuts down every single point. Like, he did his homework. I think it was the meritocracy of it, right?
Yep.
He did his homework for Game Changers.
Yep.
And he was like, and he shut this guy down in like a combative debate.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And what I remember taking away from the whole experience is that what we should really do is have a platform where if you've got opposing points of view, then we should sit and be able to listen to me and you challenge each other.
Yeah.
Because I think what will actually happen in that process is the best ideas will rise to the top.
Yes.
And that's good for all of us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we see anywhere near enough of that, to be fair.
Agreed. Yeah,
and,
totally.
And I think that's...
free speech.
Yeah, no, also, like, I'm, if I sit far left as a political term and you sit far right and we're having a conversation, then, really the audience, and the
you want a balanced view, and you want, I guess, for both voices to be heard as well, whereas if you listen to a debate in America, for example, that's not what you get. You get this kind of battle, and one talks over the other, and you don't really get both views. So you do need a platform for that to work, and Rogan seems to have nailed that. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah. You don't provide that level of value to the marketplace. You don't build an audience of that size without providing that level of value to the marketplace.
No, exactly.
So he's clearly doing something really, really
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, well, I only really got... I mean, I probably just before... I was doing a lot of work in America. I had that app company I told you about. So I was working in America, and I got into Rogan a little bit then because I was traveling a lot, so I'd listen to his podcast. But then during pandemic, obviously, there was nothing else on, so we did that.
Have you got a particular favourite podcast?
Rogan.
Right, so he's your number one. But any others that you'd recommend?
So there's one, I forget the name of it now, it's on the BBC, and it's about success. Success Makers, I think it's that, is it? Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, they have good guests on there and good topics, that's great. But other than that, I'm more on the audio book side of things. So I'll get a book every single whatever.
Are they recommended to you, or you just like literally on Audible and be like?
So Audible's got a good algorithm to suggest you did Atomic Habits, you might want to try this one. So they're pretty good at that. But I've got a friend who's in the Special Forces, and we are very like-minded with what we do and how we like to learn all the rest of it. And he's often sending me like some great psychology books, that type of thing. Yeah, it's good. Nice. Some of it's on relationships as well. It's good fun.
Okay,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you can like win that argument. That's always good fun to win one.
as in you can win the argument because you're so skilled in it.
So skilled.
Yeah.
You're like a ninja.
Okay.
Your wife would be in shock. You're like, you actually won an argument. First time in 20 years.
Yeah, that's a good thing to go away and study.
It is. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, send me a link.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things I'm most proud of on a personal level is how I met my partner. Because it came from studying, right?
Yeah.
So I broke up with a girl in 2016.
Yep.
And I was heartbroken, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like just thinking about like where I'm going in my life. And a friend of mine recommended a book called The Game, which is by a guy called Neil Strauss. It's effectively about pickup.
Neil Strauss.
It's a pickup book about how you pick up women in bars.
Neil Strauss is someone I've read. Okay. I'm not sure of that book in particular.
I'm pretty sure it's Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
So I read this book. First time I really picked up a book, to be fair, in my life. So I picked it up, read it, went out and practiced a lot, and just got my sales script like down. I must have like run this script and this routine like a good 150 times to the point where I got, and there's the benefits of being able to do it.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, learn, and then the benefit, and that's how I met my partner. I met her in a bar in Budapest.
Wow.
Literally walked up to her, ran the routine that I've ran like 100 times. And next thing I know, she's my future wife, and I've got a baby girl. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So now I'm proud of that.
How long ago was that?
This was, I'm proud of putting the work. That's what I'm most proud of. That I went and did that because I don't think I would have, found her had or not.
Yeah.
I met her and I broke up, started that process 2016. I met her in May 2019. We got engaged in June 2020, and then Mia was born February 2021.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
That's very cool.
All
like that.
And you're saying the reason I brought it up is because obviously you mentioned about having arguments and so, winning arguments with your missus.
Yeah.
And I think actually that's probably where my next wave of knowledge.
That's the next stage. That's it. Yeah, you'd be very proud. Next time we have one of these, you're like, I'm really proud of myself. I've won an argument.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just, it's a happy marriage.
Yeah.
But no, I think that certainly taught me the lesson of what you put into life, you get out, right?
You do. Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're covering some good topics here.
Yeah, wide and varied. It's good.
Yeah, wide and varied.
Yeah.
Oh dear, fair play. Okay, let me go to my last question.
Go on then.
Okay. So, Wes, you get a dinner party.
Yeah.
Okay, you get 3 guests, dead or alive. Who would you invite?
Dad. My dad. Yeah, definitely. My father-in-law I lost last year. Both of those two are gone. So. Those 2 I'd have. Then what would I do with the third? I've got to be careful, haven't I? I think I'd bring Treen. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'd be myself, my wife, and our both our fathers. Yeah, definitely.
Fair play, Wes.
Yeah.
Right, nice one. Wes, look, really appreciate you coming down today to spend some time on the sofa. I appreciate it was a very diversified conversation and
That's
stuff.
Cool, man. I enjoyed it. It's been fun.
There was lots of cool takeaways and stuff. So, thanks for your time. I look forward to getting to know you better in the coming years. And, again, look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome. Cheers, Josh. Thanks for having me.